Hello, everybody. It's DM Cass here. I am here with my friend.
I'm Dingy.
And today we're going to be discussing Vampire the Masquerade. So I have a friend who has created a Vampire the Masquerade Iceburg. Pretty cool. You should check him out. He's over on a channel called The Count. If you search up VTM The Count, he's going to be the guy that pops up. We're going to be discussing that Iceburg today. And this will be to the best of my knowledge. Dingy here has some knowledge of VTM. He's played a couple of games. You want to talk about that?
I've only really messed with VTM 5e and adapting some stuff from 20th. I know a good chunk more about like Werewolf mostly, just because when we were trying to get into that out of our group, I'm the one who kind of learned all that. But I've only been playing VTM for a few years now, and like I said, it's just been 5e, so there's a lot of lore bits I don't really know, because I only really learned what was necessary for the character I was playing.
For this, we're just going to be going through the Iceburg, having a conversation about stuff that he doesn't know that's on there. If anyone has any questions about something that's on there that we don't cover, please leave it down in the comments section. Today we'll be going only over the first tier. Thank you for watching, and let's get into it.
Shameless plug, you can find me on YouTube over on Dingy Games. Most of my stuff's gaming and or anime nerd stuff, but in the future I'm going to do some werewolf lore.
We got a lot of concepts here. For the purposes of this video, we're kind of just have conversations about stuff that you're not familiar with. So you have a very intermediate knowledge of VTM. You know the basic concepts. You played a few games, Kane's the First Vampire, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. Starting kind of from we'll do the box first, the introductory concepts, and then we can move over to the right side.
So the only thing in that introductory concepts chunk there that I don't immediately have any sort of foundation for is the riddle.
So the riddle refers to a beast I am, less a beast I become. So it's phrased as a riddle. Now, this is all obviously according to my knowledge. So I have a bit of an advanced knowledge on it. I'm not like a scholar on it by any means.
But you have done a good chunk of research into both the basic and
I've read
sort
a bunch
of meta
of the
plot.
Books. Yeah, I've read a bunch of the books. Yeah. So, but yeah, the riddle is a beast I am, less a beast I become. Basically, it's framed as a riddle because on the surface it doesn't make sense, but once you understand that most of the Golconda cults and paths of enlightenment involve either giving in to your beast or dealing with your beast or doing something along the lines of that. There is some sort of negotiation that has to happen with the beast for most of these things, which is why the riddle kind of exists.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, it is sort of inferring correctly that if you don't feed, you will eventually frenzy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
I keep seeing it. Real world quotes. I don't know what it's referring to in reference to VTM.
There are several quotes that are given throughout the VTM books that were actually made by real people. So, but the point that it exists in this Iceburg, I'm assuming, is that it's confirming that these real people exist, and two, it's confirming that these quotes have something to do with vampiric society, which is interesting considering that this is sort of a urban fantasy, so that it takes place in the real world.
Right.
So, the question is how much overlap is intended within this narrative.
Okay.
Like, for example, Al Capone specifically was a vampire.
Really?
Yeah.
You just gonna leave me hanging on that bit?
Al Capone was so Al Capone, he is embraced and becomes a vampire of the Venture clan in Chicago.
Venture, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
As far as I know, he's still around now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like under a different pseudonym, or?
I don't know if he's under a different pseudonym. I know that so Chicago canonically currently is under Prince Jackson. I haven't read the ending to Chicago by Night in the 5th edition, but I'm assuming that Jackson remains the prince.
I'd assumed Chicago to be an anarch-free state.
No, Chicago is actually propped up as a model Camarilla State.
Really?
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah. So Chicago has some interesting things happening with it, which I don't think it's on this, so we can briefly talk about Chicago. But basically, there's some kind of creature of unknown origin. Maybe it's a Methuselah, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's not a vampire at all. We don't know what it is. There's something, depending on who you ask, depending on what lore book you go into, that is sleeping underneath the lake, the big massive lake in Chicago.
Right.
And whatever it is, it's like pulling people to fight. There's also, if memory serves, Helena shows up in Chicago as well. There's a bunch of like Methuselahs running around in Chicago that are also like pulling strings and waging a secret jihad against each other. Most people assume that Vampire the Masquerade is about basically Vampire Mafia, aka Camarilla, versus like Vampire Anarchs, aka like biker gangs / the gangs of New York /
Right,
whatever.
but it's more so younger versus older generations than it is sect v sect.
It's more so the younger generations are actually being influenced by older generations in order to go and wage a forever war against each other. This is the main point behind the Sabbat, that they want to kind of like stop that.
Okay.
The way that they go about it is entirely nonsense, because the Sabbat themselves have been fully infiltrated by the same people, the Talmahei Ra. That's
right.
Separate thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go back to the thing now.
Yeah. Going step by step, seeing what I don't immediately notice. I have read the Book of Nod, so I have a basic understanding of Nodism.
Mm-hmm.
Week of Nightmare. I definitely have heard about that, but I don't remember right now what that was about.
So, I believe it's in 1999. There was a red star that started appearing in the night sky. Eventually it's called Anti-Helios. The fun side fact, a lot of people believe that the word anti means like against or opposite. Actually, in some cases, anti can mean a mirror or another. Yeah. During this time, when all this was happening, Red Star in the night sky, Methuselah rising, Clan Ravnos getting destroyed, people around the world, especially psychically like attuned people, even like non-kindred, were having nightmares. There's also reports of kindred having nightmares, which, as far as I'm aware, kindred don't dream, so that's odd.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. Cool withdrawal. I've experienced seeing that in game.
Yep.
Raid Crank, I understand, is the thing the Malkavians are doing. Eurystheus fragments?
The Eurystheus fragments.
Okay.
I believe it's actually specifically pronounced Yurtis, if you look up the mountain that it's named after. I could be mistaken. So the Yurtis fragments, we're going to call it that for the rest of this. Apologies if I'm getting it wrong. These fragments are what was presented as the Dark Ages Book of Nod. These are fragments of the Book of Nod / pseudo Book of Nod.
Right.
That were put together by some specific vampire's ghoul. But the Yurchis fragments specifically exist in a book format in the same way that the Book of Nod does.
Right.
And in fact, the two contradict each other in several cases.
Really?
Yes. But canonically speaking, the Yurchis fragments is likely the truer source because, not... Technically, the Bloodlines game is sort of kind of canon and then kind of not canon. I think that it's technically not canon right now. But in the Bloodlines game, which everyone has played, so it might as well be canon.
It's canon enough that it influenced the LA by Night playthrough.
Yep. Yeah. So basically, in that game, Kane drives a taxi, and he is actually the taxi driver. Because if you go into the files, it has his name in it. The Yurchis fragments have a line in them, which I cannot remember verbatim. But it basically talks about how Kane's whole thing is that he's like ferrying people around now.
Right.
Like he's the ferryman. He's traveling constantly. He's kind of going around. He's just kind of here. But the really cool thing about the Yurchis fragments is it is in fact fragments. It's presented as like scraps of paper that are arranged in the book. There are several historians that write comments under each one of them about the authenticity or whether or not they think it's true or false, or so on and so forth. Yep.
Why are you wasting your time?
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I?
That's as just another or alternative equivalent to the book. Nah, that's interesting at least.
Yep. Well, there's also the one below it, the Revelations of the Dark Mother. That is another kind of Book of Nod thing, which we'll get to if you want.
Revelations of the Bahar. Okay,
The Bahar.
yeah. We'll
Yeah.
get to that. I'm kind
We'll
of just going down the lines with what I do or don't recognize or know much about.
Yeah.
For example, the next thing is almost immediately, which is making me feel more like a noob than I thought I was. The Wan Kuei.
Okay, Wan Kuei is just a proper name for the Kuei-jin.
Okay, it's the Quasian. I understand.
That's actually what, if I remember correctly, that's what they call themselves.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Galconda, I understand. Dignitas.
Dignitas and Face primarily are a concept within Clan Ventrue, but they do exist outside that clan. But basically, it means like your reputation.
Okay.
Dignitas specifically in Clan Ventrue is like how good is your pedigree, how good is like your sire's pedigree, so on and so forth.
Which leads into the next thing I was going to ask about, which is the genealogy tree of VTM.
Oh yeah, where's that at?
A line down and then back a bit.
Okay.
Right after Chicago by
Yeah,
night.
I see it. So yeah, there is an official book that came out.
Really?
It is a full genealogy tree that exists in VTM.
Do we have that one yet?
Yeah, I have it.
I'm gonna look into that one later whenever we're planning our next game.
Yeah, you can use it to, it's very useful if you care about lineages for like Ventrue.
If you want to make a Ventrue, or a character concept I have later, which is basically Gruha, who wants to outdo the Ventrue by doing their things. So
Sure.
he would like do research into his own lineage and all that.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, that's cool.
Mhm.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna find out about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Nkanu, that's the Nosferatu that are hunting the other Nosferatu and look good, aren't they?
No, the Nkanu are. You're thinking of the Niktuku.
Niktuku, right.
The Nkanu are specifically a. How do I put this? They are the Vampire Illuminati. They are a very small group. I believe, like in the actual books, there's only like 8 to like 16 members somewhere in there. It's like a handful of people. Dracula is one of them, by the way. Yeah. Just side note.
That's where I heard it before during our last campaign.
Yeah. Just as a quick rewind time.
Yeah.
The book is called The Line of Cain.
The Line of Cain. Okay. I'm gonna go find that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, but yes, the Nkanu is
secret org within VTM. Okay.
Yes. Their whole thing is that they are secretly helping to destroy Vampire Society, but outwardly they're appearing as if they aren't. But it's kind of a mixed bag with them. That they're not intended to be something that your characters get involved in like an organizational fashion. They're intended to be something that you can put over their head as like a vampire boogeyman.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is why
it's got big names like Dracula.
Most of their stuff is meant to be kind of vague on purpose. But if you read the Gehenna book, it talks about how they're like basically instrumental in bringing about Gehenna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit, because this whole little chunk here I'm questioning, because I don't know about the founders, or how day drinkers are different from a standard thin blood, or any of that. The founders here, what's that about? What are the founders?
The founders are basically the original clan. They're the people that were at the Convention of Thorns that
Founded the
founded
Camarilla.
the Camarilla. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Adana de Sforza, Milo Protrenkov, Camilla Baines, Banes, if you want to pronounce it that way, Josef von Baren, Rafael de Corazon, Mistress Fanchon.
Lot of fancy names for old.
And then last but not least is Harderstadt.
Harderstadt,
The elder
I recognize
/
the
younger. Technically, the younger is the one. Anyway, but yeah, they were the first Justicars, and then they stepped down as Justicars, and then something simultaneously showed up called the Inner Circle, and no one knows who's in the Inner Circle.
I think we know who's in the Inner Circle.
We might know who's in the Inner Circle. Don't know. We know that Hardstadt's not in it anymore because he got freaking hard splatted.
He's the one that, when the Anarchs started breaking off, he's the one they fucked up, right?
So, okay, this will be a really fun, like, side tangent. So, basically, if you read the 5th edition material, it says that... So, okay, 9/11 happens, right? And a bunch of different groups take responsibility for it. So the Sabbat are like, oh, we did it. There's some Anarchs, they're like, oh, we did it. You know, certain cults are like, oh, we did it. Anyway, so at the time, there was a dude named Theo Bell. He was an Archon of Clan Bruja. Was he the Archon or was it just... He was some big guy in Clan Bruja.
Right.
For sure he was an Archon.
I've heard the name. He was like the spearhead for the modern Anarch movement.
He's a cool guy. Really cool backstory too. But so he gets overzealous, and him and some other dude go around, and they start like kicking down doors and taking names, trying to figure out who did 9/11, because it's a problem. When he does this, he leads a paper trail, and he leads a destruction trail directly back to the Camarilla, where the Second Inquisition starts forming. So it's his fault. Now here's the fun part. Harderstadt could have pulled back the orders. Harderstadt could have done it, because he's the guy. He's the guy that made the original Masquerade. He's the guy that made the original stuff, right? But he doesn't. And he kind of just does nothing during this whole thing. So it is genuinely my headcanon that, and it's kind of implied by the book, so it's not like stated outright, that what happened was Theo Bell was dominated into killing Harderstadt by a Ventru in order to get rid of him, because he's a problem. Because both of them are problems. Because Harderstadt's basically doing nothing to deal with the Second Inquisition.
They can make him pop Harderstadt, get him out of the way, and then because he popped Harderstadt, who was such an influential figure, they can blood hunt Theo Bell.
Correct. And then Theo Bell can F off to go and form, basically...
The Anarch movement.
But he didn't form the Anarch movement, but
he was basically a symbol that resulted in it forming.
The modern Anarch movement is now fully comprised with Bruja. Previously it wasn't. The Gangrel had left previously, but that's a whole separate thing. That's from Xavier, but that's
in my time, the only 2 Anarchs that I ever remember the name of, because they were so cool, was Theo Bell and then Nines.
Yeah, Nines.
Nines is fucking cool.
Nines is cool. A lot of people mischaracterize Nines. They think that Nines' whole thing is he cares about the Anarch movement, but a lot of people don't understand what the real Anarch movement is versus what the fake Anarch movement
I liked his depiction in LA by Night, where it was less about the movement itself and more about keeping his little group safe.
That is the correct way to portray Anarchs.
Yeah.
The problem is everyone portrays Anarchs as Camarilla Light. That's not how you portray Anarchs.
No, they are more like biker gangs that care about their gang specifically.
It's not even a biker gang. It's literally just, I have enough power to where if you mess with me, it's going to be a problem for you and your organization.
I do what I want outside the Camarilla, because if I'm not strong enough to do that, then I'm not going to get to do much.
Correct. It's might equals right, and that's how you portray that. Like, you literally just portray them as they are too big to take down.
We like some of the Camarilla rules because they keep us safe. But if you try and, run us over, we have the strength to fuck you up.
Yeah. For me, the way that I have always done it is the Camarilla are mafia.
Right.
And, old money and stuff. And the Anarchs are gangs.
Like street gangs.
They have enough power to where you don't want to mess with them. Even the Mafia would think twice before messing with these guys.
Just because they would take such a chunk of losses.
It's such a chunk of losses. Politically speaking, like, you're going to lose territory. You're going to lose support from the local community. It's going to cause a problem. And not only that, but all the cops are going to get on you.
Which, you draw the attention of the Second Inquisition.
Yeah. So that's like the best way to portray them. It's like, it's basically this, but they're doing their own thing.
Strong enough to where you probably could, if you really wanted to, get rid of us.
Yeah.
You're not going to like it.
It would probably destroy you too.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then that next thing I mentioned, Day Drinker.
So it's probably talking about the merit. So in 5th edition, there's a merit, a Thin Blood merit called Day Drinker, which allows you to withstand sunlight without burning to ash.
So even Thin Bloods can't normally unless they have that merit.
Yeah, basically. So Thin Bloods will eventually die in sunlight, basically. But in order to take the Day Drinker merit, what it does is it takes away basically all your vampiric powers, and it halves your health tracker.
Okay.
It's bad.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Tower of Thin Blood, weirdly enough, is listed twice in this chunk.
Yeah, I mean, this is an incomplete.
Fair enough. Someone had to put this together, probably repeated stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Moonlight can burn? What do you mean Moonlight can burn vampires?
So there are a few rare exceptions where Moonlight can burn vampires, specifically. So there is a flaw called light sensitive, where the skin is so hypersensitive to the sun spectrum that even a full moon can cause a sunburn or irritation to them. There's also the Ministry,
right?
Which is the followers of Set.
Yeah.
Specifically, moonlight on a clear night can literally cause them like damage, physical discomfort, irritation. It won't like burn them, like Dave light will.
Right.
But there is also, technically speaking, you could have it to where like the moonlight could burn you if you concentrated it through like magical means. And I imagine that there's likely a werewolf power that could probably do it.
There's a lot of werewolf powers that can fuck up a vampire.
Mm.
There are ones where their claws basically ignite into fire.
Yeah.
You're looking at older editions, they can turn into lightning and travel through cell phones. Werewolves are fucking cool.
Yeah, there's actually an entire division of Archons whose whole thing is to like hunt down werewolves, and they know how to access the Umbra and will follow you into the Umbra and kill you.
Yeah,
but awesome.
Try to kill you. It's still fucking werewolf v vampire.
The vampire. This team wins.
Really?
They're good.
Are they trained against all Fera or just werewolves specifically?
I imagine that there are some of them that are trained against all Fera, but generally speaking, I imagine that it's going to be against werewolves, considering that werewolves are kind of what exists.
And the other Fera are mostly in hiding.
Yeah, the other Fera would likely fall under E Division, which E Division is basically SCP, but for vampires. Vampires
policing all the other supernatural things. Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
They're more of a research division. So if for some reason the Archons who are specifically there to fight, I think they're called dog catchers. Mm-hmm. They're there to kill werewolves. If they did come up against another Fera, they would ask E Division. E Division would probably fax them over the lore bit on that, and then they would use that to, like, you know,
right,
home alone themselves.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Moving down the line, the next thing I don't know anything about. I don't know what it means by unseemly aura, but I can assume.
Where's that one at?
Right after humanity determines length of its core core. It's a good bit further. Although I do notice, we said that one Quay was what the Quay Jin called themselves, but then Quay Jin is also listed a little bit.
Quay Jin. We can talk about Quay Jin.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that first.
Well, let's do Unseemly Aura. It's a 2-dot ghoul mirror that permanently alters a mortal ghoul's spiritual signature that makes them specifically appear as if they're a vampire.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool. It in 5e? Or is it only in older editions?
Let's find out. It is in 5th edition.
That's fucking cool. If I'd known about that, that would have been a cool one to give Zane specifically in our last game.
That would have been fun.
Just because he's such a fucking shit.
That's a big one in the future, is a full breakdown of like everything that happened.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
We've started, and I've already been thinking we can do like a sit down and talk about some of the Farah as well. Just because I know you mostly know a lot about vampires, but as the guy you assigned to learn werewolves, I learned a good chunk about the Farah.
Calm down. Alright, let's finish up this first one.
Yeah. We are so far from being finished up, but yeah, the Quay Jin.
Quay Jin. So Quay Jin is like the weird thing. So it's a.
I know we call them ancient vampires, but they're not at all the same as kindred in how they function.
Correct. So what they are, like, actually, is they're souls that clawed their way out of hell.
Right. But they're not the same as wraiths or demons or any of the other supernatural things. They're their own entity.
So they're in a book called Kindred of the East. They're their own thing. And basically, the short of it is that used to only belong to like Asian vampires back in the day. The lore has since changed to be like, no, it always was other stuff too. Don't worry about that.
Right.
Which is why, by the way, they have the name Quay Jin, which is a combination of Chinese and Japanese, like, random syllables.
Right.
But yeah, they probably call themselves the One Quay. But basically, in short, they believe in like there's a wheel, right? The wheel is turning, and each time that it turns, there's a new kind of zeitgeist that happens. The current zeitgeist is what they're on now, which is Wan Quay, which is, you know, they're the 100,000 warrior, whatever.
Right.
Basically, in short, they are crouching tiger, hidden dragon, undead ghost thing.
Very Merum.
That they're fighting a forever war against their own splat bad guys. Their whole thing is that they eat jade.
And I know they also eat like ki from people.
Yeah, ki, chi, whatever it is. They're basically vampires. They're not so different from a vampire, but they're not the same thing as a proper Canaanite.
Right, because they do not have any connection to Cain. They have their own origins.
They have their own thing.
I know a lot of them are constantly clashing with the Beast Kings, which is all the Pharaoh that have formed like their court over in the east.
Yep. So, yeah, the Henge Yokai.
Yep.
So, but the thing is this: it really has an identity crisis because it's like, oh, we don't want it to be Asian, but I'm like, you gotta kind of make it Asian in order for it to make sense that it's Asian, or you have to come up with a reason why it's Asian. So,
right.
Well, you could easily do that and just be like, well, the people that got out first happened to show up in Asia because, I don't know, the stars were in position. There you go. Now that explains why it's Asian, and now why it's not. Done. Easy peasy.
That's a easy way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are other ways to make it work.
Yeah. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want it to just be stereotyped into like it's kung fu vampires, which is exactly what it is, by the way.
Right.
Like, the stereotype exists for a reason because it's true.
Right.
They are literally just kung fu vampires. That's the way that they were made.
We say kung fu, but I don't know why. I don't know as much about them as you, but for
that's not how I play them.
The way they read to me is less straight kung fu and more Miram martial arts story.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the way that I've always ran them is they exist as a kind of... They're basically like a mix between the Yakuza and the Triad. They're more like their own empire organizations.
Right.
They happen to also do martial arts, some of them. And they happen to have an empire in Asia because they happen to get it off the ground in Asia, which is why everything is Asia coded.
Right.
Right, but they're extremely diverse. Like
it's where they could find their foothold.
Yeah, they're extremely diverse. They have like a whole mass of them over there, and you know, think about how big China is.
Right.
And how many different places are in China. Okay, great. So like, you know, multiply that by like all the Asiatic countries. We could just say they have a foothold over there.
Right.
And there are more equations that exist. Like there's
that's another reason.
Equation in Africa. There's like, I don't know, Nordic equation in Scandinavia.
Right, but they're probably going by different words, using a slightly different culture, so I would associate them together.
I would probably say that these are less likely to survive because they don't have an organization that is built up.
Right.
To literally get them set up.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of how I run them.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so we went over this next one. I kind of understand it, but I think it's good to talk about just in general because in a lot of VTM games, you don't see it as being the core that it should be. The good intentions, disastrous consequences angle of we are the bad guys. Everything we do has to come with a consequence.
Yeah, so this actually goes back to the Book of Nod. So in the Book of Nod, it is plainly stated that anything that Cain builds will crumble.
Right.
So anything that his chowder built
will crumble.
So no matter what your intentions are, you will eventually, the things that you put your good intentions towards will turn out bad.
Right.
Let me be clear. Vampire the Masquerade, you're playing villains. You're not supposed to want these guys to win. That's messed up thinking. I don't know why people think that these are like the good guys. You're not playing D&D. These aren't heroes.
And I started trying to get into that when we were doing like Zane.
They're bad guys.
I love him.
You should enjoy watching these characters suffer. You should enjoy watching evil be destroyed.
But you also, just like any other story, kind of want to see your evil aura farm a bit before they do.
Well, they're fun characters.
They're so fun.
They're fun characters. We want cool things to happen to the characters, but they are bad.
We want them to do cool shit.
Yeah.
But also we want them to learn their fucking lesson.
We must remember that like evil never wins in the end.
Right.
And that is, even in the world of darkness, there's still light.
Yeah.
And the light is the smallest of lights. Will repel the darkness.
Oh, that. What is the red list?
Okay, so the red list. The red list are... Okay. The red list is the FBI most wanted list, but for the Camarilla. It's actually kind of for Kindred in general, but it's specifically for the Camarilla. And they're mostly it's like Diablerists that are put on the red list, but usually the Diablerists are like really, really, really bad.
Okay, so the red list basically, if you're being blood hunted, you're on it.
Not quite. If you're just blood hunted, you can just escape the city.
Okay.
And go to another city.
It's when it's a planet-wide.
It's when you've been blood hunted in enough cities to where you're a problem, or if you become a problem for a Justicar, or for the Inner Circle themselves, or for enough Archons, or if
the very top blood hunts you.
If beyond a prince blood hunts you, you might go on the red list.
Okay.
And so, but they have specific people. So there's a whole sect of Archons that are kind of aside from Archons that don't answer to the Justicars at all. That answer only directly to the Inner Circle, called Alistairs, something like that. And their whole thing is that they hunt the people that are on the red list specifically.
I want to move past it because I assume it's just Banes, but I keep getting hooked on it. Clan-specific Vitae symptoms. It's written in such a way where I think it's supposed to be Banes, but it's such a specific way to say that.
So this could be a couple of things. So there is a lore bit where if you drink from other vampires, sometimes you can get symptoms from drinking from that vampire. So you could get compulsions or like a temporary clan bane from drinking from that vampire. Now, here's the other thing as well. It could also mean, for example, if you are part of the Hakate clan, but you happen to be part of the Giovanni family, and you're drinking from the Vitae there, you're drinking from someone that's related to you.
Right.
It could be a number of things here. I'm not quite sure exactly what specifically he was meaning by putting that, but yeah, there's the Vitae is weird.
Vitae weird. Makes sense.
Yeah. Magic was weird.
In reference back to the red list, apparently, this next bit mentions it. Trophies, parenthesis, red list. What are trophies?
Well, I know that there are specifically skulls that exist of vampires that other vampires have claimed and like keep.
Oh, that's fucking
so
metal.
That's a thing. This could be referring to other stuff. I don't know.
Right next, themed releases. This seems like more about the meta than the actual.
Yeah, year of. So before 5th edition
Right.
and before 20th edition, back when it was, regular VTM World of Darkness, there was the time of, the time of judgment, the year of revelation, the year of this, year of that. There's a couple of different years of, basically, when the books came out originally. This is why you can't really play the old editions, because you had to be there. It had to be that time to do it, because it is time sensitive. All of this stuff was released in like stages. So if anyone's played like Magic the Gathering, you will know that if you play the standard format, right?
Right.
The standard format is that there is a current storyline happening, and you are participating in that storyline. And that's what the cards are. The decks that you buy are the participation in that storyline. Okay. So that is how VTM was played. There was a storyline that's happening now, and the current books that are coming out are part of that storyline. And then things change, and now there's new books coming out for the new storyline, and there's new this, new that, and now you're changing to adapt to that. So that's kind of how it was until Gehenna, and there was a thing called Time of Judgment. And this is across all of World of Darkness. Okay, so yeah.
Okay. Next. Vulgar Argot. What's that? There's a lot of those. 2 random words put together.
Vulgar Argot is in reference to specific parts of the lexicon. So vampires use a specific lexicon when they talk to each other.
Right.
Right. So vitae, kind.
Right.
We use code words in order to not get made by people. Okay. The Vulgar Argot is the current zeitgeist of vulgar ways of saying the same thing.
Okay.
So for example,
like lick.
Alley cat.
Yeah.
Blood doll. Blister. Shovelhead. Juice bag.
Right. Okay.
Cape. Referring to
basically the physical words that the anarchs tend to use.
Anarchs, thin bloods, very, very, very young, like not induced into the Camarilla types.
Right.
Guys like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
This one just kind of has my interest. Who is the oldest currently active kindred outside of Cain?
Okay, so according to 5th edition, there's 3 possible. So not including Cain, who's active. Well, there's a legend that Hakim,
right,
of Banu Hakim, is walking around.
Right.
And
I've also heard about the story
up.
about the eldest being under New York calling his kids.
That wouldn't really be active.
Right.
He's kind of in torpor under there, just doing stuff. And I'm assuming it's not talking about that. Okay. But the oldest active ones, other than like antediluvians.
Right.
Montano. So he's the guy that ate the antediluvian.
Which one?
That's the La Sombra.
La Sombra. Okay.
Yeah, his name is Montano. Specifically, his lore states that he was embraced when the first human tribes migrated into Europe, which is pre-Bronze Age.
Right.
Supposedly thousands of years before the first city of Enoch. That's assuming that we allow the lore to contradict itself. Yeah, but that's fine. He specifically defies the beckoning in V5. actively remaining awake to guide the Camarilla. So he's currently like in the Camarilla. Like, the Camarilla has an antediluvian.
Let's go La Sombra.
Yeah. There's also Urshulgi, who basically he woke up and went around his clan and was like, "Why are you Muslim?" And they couldn't give a good answer for it, so he just started killing them. So most of the Banu Hakim went to the Camarilla, and then Urshulgi is now still over in wherever he is, Alamut. Currently, he has like a cult that is just like the OG Banu Hakim,
right,
before they became Muslim. And then you have also Vasilsa, who is a Niktuku, and she's doing the Niktuku thing,
hunting down all the Nosferatu.
Yeah. But specifically, Urshulgi was embraced, quote, when the skies rained blood, which, according to the lore, would have been about 10,000 BC.
Okay.
And then Vasilsa was embraced about 5,000 BC. So, specifically, it says she's twice the age of Baba Yaga.
That's fucking hell.
So these are the three possible ones that it could be talking about.
That's old as hell.
I would say Zapata Zura, but he shows up and is killed, and then there you go. So I don't think that's it. I don't remember if that's. Oh yeah, it has to be. It has to be canon in 5th edition because the Ravnos are destroyed.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not fully, but reduced to like a fistful.
I think lore-wise, there's about the same amount of Ravnos as there are Salubri.
Really?
Which is like 100 in the world.
And much like others, they're hard to find.
Yeah.
Just for a different reason than the Salubri.
Well, generally speaking, unless you have the backing of a clan within a given territory, most people don't provide their clan.
Right. So you wouldn't know the Ravnos anyways.
Yeah. Why would you?
No. Add in the difficulty of the standard clan bane of having to stay on the move.
The fun fact: there was a guy. He was in charge of Washington D.C. He was like the prince of Washington D.C. He was a Ventru.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out, secretly, he's always been a La Sombra.
That makes sense. La Sombra pulling Ventru, I can buy.
Yeah. Well, Ventru and La Sombra like each other, so
yeah, they're just
or rivals.
Yeah. We're both top dogs.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
The next one is the Fat Swat.
So fat slack literally just means like a core rule book.
Okay. The thick books.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. What do you mean kindred digest oxygen?
This is likely referring to a misprint that happened in a 1992 book.
Mm-hmm.
For 1st edition rules, which specifically stated kindred must process nutrients and oxygen through their system.
Because oxygenated blood, I guess.
I don't know, but
weird.
There you go. The technically it is a a lore flub.
Okay.
That happened. That got corrected later.
Swan Song. Yeah, VTM Swan Song.
Swan Song was a game that was developed by so he's a YouTuber named the Gentleman Gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. And basically he went through and developed a game called BTM Swan Song. It takes place in Boston, and it's kind of like a Telltale game.
Is it like a visual novel the way that Shoutout New York was?
Not quite, no.
Okay.
If you've ever played a Telltale game...
I have. I've played a few.
It's like a Telltale game.
Okay.
Yeah. You walk around as a character for a little bit, and that's mostly like social interactions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've just noticed a lot of VTM games, like you get Bloodlines every so often, or specifically Blood Hunt, which is like a Battle Royale VTM.
Yeah.
But most of them seem to be visual novel style ones. Like I said, I played Shadow of New York when we learned about La Sombra way back when.
The soundtrack is great.
Oh yeah.
For the game. And I like the character designs. I think the characters are interesting. I didn't like the gameplay so much. The gameplay kind of just was monotonous to get through. Cool story. I like the story.
Way about a lot of Telltales, so
I like everything about that game except for the gameplay.
Which, it's a Telltale.
Yeah, it's just politely, it is basically a walking simulator with a visual novel attached.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yes. Good game though. Worth playing if you really like VTM and you want to get into the lore. Here's the cool part though. There's also a book that released, like a lore book for 5th edition for the game, and there's stuff in it.
That's cool.
For characters, yeah. And the soundtrack is so good. It's great.
This next one I think is just about
worth playing.
I think the reason I don't know about this next bit is because it's from an old generation, but blood pool determines maximum virtues. Blood pools aren't around anymore, and I've never even heard of virtues, so...
In short, this is likely referring to the fact that, in the older editions, you have virtues that you could have, right? They're basically our convictions that we have in this one.
Okay.
But what you can do with your blood kind of would affect that.
Okay.
But I'm not specifically sure on this one, so. Yeah.
I don't know who Lauden is, but it says here that it's
Loden.
basically VTM's Lestat.
Lestat de Leoncourt.
That I know. That's Vampire Interview with the Vampire.
Vampire Chronicles and Rice, yes, which is what VTM is based off of.
Right.
By the way. So Loden is a European sort of Nordic kind of vampire guy.
Yep.
Fun fact: he's actually the ex-Prince of Chicago, and in Chicago, if I'm correct, he's the ex-Prince of Chicago. Let's double check that. There we go. So Loden was originally the Prince of Chicago until his quote-unquote final death in 1993. In 5th edition, he's still around, by the way. Yeah, basically, he's kinda Lestat de Leoncourt. There's not that big of a difference between them.
Fair enough. What is the Code of Milan, then?
The Code of Milan refers to a catechism that is set up for the Sabbat.
Right.
So the Sabbat is organized, think of the Eisensgruppen, the brown shirts, just every horrible, terrible group that you can think of that is the secret police of basically every fascist regime.
Yeah.
Plus the Templars. Combine these into one and you basically get the Sabbat. So the Sabbat are a very religious organization. And because of this, they set up what is basically the Code of Milan. Now, the Code of Milan is not a specific set out code that is a couple of quick tenets, not like the traditions. It is a catechism. It is a large group of texts. The texts consist of sermons and long form essays and stuff like that. Stuff that younger Sabbat, newer Sabbat, are not going to be bothered with reading. The leadership in the Sabbat are expected to know this and use this to guide the younger.
Okay, that's useful. That
Yep.
makes sense. Kindred taxonomy.
This is talking about the organization of them into specific sections. We could do taxonomy in terms of generation. So how old is your vampire?
Right.
What generation are they? We could do a taxonomy in terms of blood potency. That's another thing we could do. But a taxonomy basically means a hierarchy.
Right. And like I said earlier, taxonomy-based organization of animals is what we currently primarily use, which is categorizing animals based on shared physical distinctions.
Correct. If we were to
But to do that with vampires, basically just be the clans again. The clans and the sub-clans.
Well, you could do the clans, yeah. Or you could do by age, right? So you could say Cain and the progenitors, and the antediluvians and the Methuselah, the elders, neonates, ancillae, thin bloods.
Right, okay.
Right. You could do that. But I'm not exactly sure what this one's talking about.
Fair enough.
We'll move on.
The next one, reading it and then aligning it with my understanding of vampires, I think it might be a misunderstanding. Staked vampires without blood consume excess moisture instead. But if my understanding of vampires is correct, when you become a vampire, all the liquids in your body are replaced with blood, with vitae. So I don't think it's so much that you're eating the moisture as much as the reason you have moisture is because it's blood to be consumed.
So there's a specific type of role-playing game called GURPS, Generic Universal Role-Playing Game.
Right.
Role-playing system. And VTM was, at one point, adapted to it. Now, the official lore specifically says that once a vampire enters a bloodless torpor state, they specifically stop functioning.
Right.
Okay? And then it says that their body swiftly dries out and takes on the appearance of a mummified being.
Right.
In the GURPS lore, it specifically says that they begin consuming all excess moisture within his body, completely dehydrating the meat and ligaments.
Okay. Which, same result, different way of phrasing it based on system. I'm right, though. Like, in VTM, once you become a vampire, all the liquids in your body are replaced with vitae.
Yes, technically speaking, it's still blood.
So the reason you dry out would be because, while you're staked, it's consuming the vitae.
Yes.
Yeah. Or rather, you're running out of vitae.
Yes.
And if you have no vitae, since it's every liquid in your body, you just are dried up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That is it for the first chunk.
All right. I think we'll end there.
That's a great place to end. Because looking at the next one, in this previous one, it was like, cool, I know about that. I can go through like a swath of this without asking questions. There's a thing. I'm looking at this next chunk, and it seems like it's going to be the opposite, where I'm going to ask a question about almost everything, except maybe skip over one or two things.
Oh, we're gonna Google half of this stuff. We'll end here.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, and good night.
End transmission, my fellow they them kindred. Signing off.